A Giants podcast for Giants fans
by Giants fans.
It's Sean Morash.
On the sideline, into the end zone. Touchdown, Giants!
From the offseason through the wins and the losses, it's time to take one Giant step.
All right, everyone, welcome into One Giant Step. Bryce Gelman here, and today we're going to be beating the dead horse. We're going to be talking about Saquon Barkley and Xavier McKinney. The latest on both of them is Saquon gone? Does Xavier McKinney want to come back? And we're going to start today with Saquon Barkley, who, yes, Saquon, the model citizen that he is, was spotted, not even spotted, he was proudly displayed at the Winter Classic the other day, wearing his Giants jersey alongside Tommy DeVito. I don't know if he was there for promotion. I don't know if it was a PR move. I don't know if his agent told him to do it. But the bottom line is he was there. He was sporting his Giants jersey. And it again reiterates to us exactly what we know Saquon Barkley wants, which is to return to the Giants. But do the Giants want him to return? That is the question that we are going to address, and the question that was posed by the New York Post, I think maybe yesterday or the day before, in an article basically saying that Saquon Barkley is unlikely to get tagged by Joe Schoen, is unlikely to get tagged by the New York Giants. And is this really a big surprise for any of us? I don't think so. Considering the fact that the franchise tag that Saquon Barkley would get this year would be $2 million more than what he got last year, because with the extra year with the franchise tag, that's $2 extra million. $12 million to a running back, a team that just went 6-11. It's a layup, folks. It's a layup. Like, there's no way the Giants are going to shell out that amount of money for a team that clearly has other holes to fill. And as I spoke about last week, as Sean and I spoke about the week before, and every week that I was on One Giant Step after I took over in October, was that Saquon Barkley is such a huge factor to this team. But you don't want that going forward. You want a team that relies on a running back that makes $1 to $2 million a year, because you are able to spend in other areas that are more important. That's why running backs don't get paid in the NFL. And that is why the Giants, and this report basically reiterates that, the Giants will not franchise tag Saquon Barkley. And it leads me to this other point, which is that now that this has been reported, that the Giants will probably look to spend a draft pick in the 3rd or 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th rounds to a running back. And if you look at what a running back in the 2nd and 3rd round, and specifically the 3rd and the 4th rounds make, it's pretty ideal. If you're the New York Giants, you're going to be paying a running back $2 to $3 million, maybe even less a year going forward. Instead of paying a guy $12 million a year, who very obviously is not going to change whether or not you were going to win going forward. Yes, he's very important, impacts winning on a game-by-game basis, but that is not the case, and that cannot be the case going forward if you want to have a successful team. So Saquon Barkley, hasta la vista, unless you want to come back on a team-friendly, long-term deal, you get what you want at the end of the day, which is the security, the stability of a long-term contract, but you take a pay cut. You take a pay cut. You put your pride away. You put your ego on the side. You take the deal, and you come back to the Giants where you want to be. If another team wants to pay you $10 to $12 million a year, fine, be my guest. Go. Like, enjoy. We'll root for you. We'll understand why you decided to leave. I don't think any fan is going to be slighted if the Giants don't offer exactly what he wants. So that's the current situation behind Saquon Barkley. At the end of the day, I am just spitballing here. That Saquon Barkley could stay, he could go. I'm not an expert. I'm not a reporter. I'm just speaking literally based off what we are hearing right now from the New York Post, what we're hearing across the board, which is that the Giants don't want to shell out a significant amount of money in a long-term deal, which is exactly what Saquon Barkley wants. It's what every other running back in the league wants, and it's just not the reality that we are facing right now. It's not the reality of the NFL. So again, that remains to be seen. The Giants could go out, they could draft a guy who could be of similar value. He's not going to be Saquon Barkley. He's not going to be the 2nd overall draft pick in the draft. We understand that. We understand what exactly Saquon was when the Giants drafted him in 2018. But he will not be a guy, whoever they draft, this guy will not be someone who's making $10 to $12 million a year. So let's have the Giants do this. Let's see what the Giants could be without Saquon Barkley. That's all I'm saying. All due respect to Saquon Barkley. He's obviously been an incredible talent, an incredible ambassador for the game of football and for the city of New York and the Giants team. You couldn't have asked for anything more besides him not getting injured almost every season. All right, let's move on to topic number 2. Topic of conversation. The latest on Xavier McKinney. And let me start by reading his tweet from this past weekend. And I quote, "I want to be appreciated in every way for what I do and bring to the table as a player and as a leader. I've stood by myself 10 toes through the critics, the hate, etc., sacrificing what those around me didn't want to or were afraid to for those same people to make it a better situation for all of us. May not always have been beneficial for me, but it was for us. Don't let that go over your head." And I do it 10 times over again. What the hell does that mean? I have no idea what that means. Very obviously a cryptic message from the Giants safety. And listen, I don't know if this is like about being disrespected by the fans, the organization. Let me just say this. Xavier McKinney, in a season that the Giants eventually made the playoffs and won a playoff game, decided to spend his bye week in Cabo, where he got injured falling off of his ATV. And the Giants stood by him, and he had a career year last year. Talk about respect, right? The Giants have done everything to respect who Xavier McKinney is and what he does on the football field, giving him ample chances to succeed. And he has the audacity to go out and say something like that. Listen, money aside, all the BS aside, this could be an ideal opportunity for Xavier McKinney. He gets his money, he comes back to the Giants, and he proves again why he deserved that money and why he's a top safety in the league. Where he wants to go, where he decides to take his talents, that remains to be seen just along with the Saquon stuff. But right now, when I hear that stuff, when I open my phone to Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, and I see Xavier McKinney's tweet, just relax. Take a chill pill, man. Relax. All right? I don't know why you're going out posting these cryptic tweets, trying to get a reaction from the fans, trying to get a reaction from someone like me or someone on the fan. I mean, it worked. You're a sought-after free agent. You say whatever you want. I mean, people are going to cover it. But right now, what I don't understand is this self-belief from him that there's disrespect from the Giants side, that there is whatever he wants to call it. I don't know, a better situation for I don't know. I just don't understand. I don't get it. And right now, if I'm the Giants, I sit back, I offer him the money that it has been predicted that he should make, which is, as I discussed last week, $12.5 million per year for a 4-year deal. So around $50 million, maybe 55. Signing bonus should up that price. The Giants should make that deal. I mean, everything aside, these tweets, the cryptic messages, whatever you want to call it, the Giants are a better team with Xavier McKinney on the field. And he showed you exactly why that's the case last year. He showed you why that's the case when he fell off that ATV, injured himself, and was out for multiple weeks after that bye week. The Giants need Xavier McKinney. They do. They're not going to find a better option in the draft. They're not going to find a better option in free agency. It makes sense if he's willing to come to the Giants in good faith and be like, listen, this is what I think I deserve. I'm not going to ask for too much. I'm not going to accept too little, but let's meet in the middle here and let's have a good conversation. And I think that would be beneficial for not only Xavier McKinney, well, obviously not only for Xavier McKinney, but for the Giants as well, for the fans who, did see a side of Xavier McKinney that I think all of us were looking for when he was drafted and being, one of the top safeties in the league, being a top 10 rated PFF or your top PFF rated safety in the league, which he was last year. And in the Shane Bowen's defense, that's what the Giants need, as we spoke about last week. There are a lot of factors going on right now, and there's a lot of different avenues, lanes the Giants could take right now going into the offseason. the main factor in all of this is one, whether or not, I'd say the two main factors in all of this is one, whether or not the Giants decide to trade up or draft a quarterback. And number two is whether or not they're able to get Xavier McKinney back. Because that right now, by far, is their most important free agent. They need to get ink to paper. They need to get his pen on the paper. They need to re-sign him. And they need to have a surefire secondary, or as surefire as it possibly can be going into next year, because that, as of right now, with Xavier McKinney not re-signed, is a major question mark. Make the deal. Re-sign him. And let's revisit this at another time when we can come back and say all of those tweets were for nothing. He's back with the Big Blue, and the Giants are in a good position to win next year. All right, that'll do it for today's episode here on One Giant Step. Thank you all for tuning in, and thank you all for taking one giant step with me.